Welcome back. Welcome back. Here we are in Exodus chapter 5. We're moving through the book of Exodus. We've gotten through what is probably the most, to me, consequential chapter in the book, which is Exodus chapter 3, outside of Exodus chapter 20, which gives us the Ten Commandments, which we'll take our time on when we get there. But right now, we're just in chapter 5. But this is a very interesting little section because this is the first time when Pharaoh confronts, or Moses and Aaron confront Pharaoh. Got it backwards there. Remember this, Moses knew this man. He knew Pharaoh. He would have most likely grown up with him. He would have known who he was. He would have maybe even known him on what we might think of as a family friendship kind of level. So when he comes in to see him, this is like a little long-lost family reunion going on. So here's how it happens. It says in verse 1, after this presentation to Israel's leaders, where they accepted, just like God had said they would, Moses and Aaron went and spoke to Pharaoh, and they told him, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says, let my people go, so they may hold a festival in my honor in the wilderness. Is that so? Retorted Pharaoh. The word retorted is just great, and it kind of gives you the hint of where Pharaoh's heart is in this. And who is the Lord? Why should I listen to him and let Israel go? I don't know the Lord, and I will not let Israel go. But Aaron and Moses persisted. The God of the Hebrews has met with us, they declared. So let's take a 3-day journey into the wilderness so we can offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. If we don't, he will kill us with a plague or with a sword. So there's a lot of courage here. Even though Moses knew him, this still takes great courage. The entire nation of Egypt lived to serve Pharaoh. He was really seen as a god himself, right? He was seen as a child of the sun. The sun god, if I remember right, for the Egyptians was called Ra, the god Ra. So here, he's almost a god himself. There's actually an inscription by Pharaoh on an ancient Egyptian temple that here's what it says about him. I am that which was and is and shall be, and no man has lifted my veil. So he was a god himself in his own eyes, and he demanded worship of him. We'll see this across a lot of places. Some of the Roman emperors saw themselves as God. Nebuchadnezzar would set himself up as a god. This was a common refrain that these different rulers during this time would do. So they say to him, God said to let my people go. Freedom. See, God's asserting something here. He's saying, Israel belongs to me. Pharaoh says, no, Israel belongs to me. So there's this back and forth in a battle over Israel between this man who claims to be a god and the man, or the God that really is, right? The God, the real God, the only God. So you're back and forth in this thought. And Pharaoh's not going to give. And what God did was, he said to Moses to tell him, just let us go out of the wilderness for 3 days and worship. He gave him to start with the easiest thing to be able to accept. He knew he would not accept. He knew he would harden his heart. And so God does this and allows Pharaoh to harden that heart so that as these judgments come, God's like, I gave him the easiest thing in the world to start with. He rejected even that. So as the plagues come upon them, God is just and right. He has refused God, and he has done unspeakable things. Absolute atrocities and horrors have been done to the nation of Israel by the Egyptians. Genocide has been committed. And so God's right in his judgment. And this is the first step in that judgment coming to pass. And we're going to see a lot more of that judgment in the days to come. Talk to you later.